Okay, so it is 7:27 p.m. on November 18th. This is our monthly Southborough Cultural Arts Council meeting. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to do a roll call. Kate Heisner, I, Nicole Bullows,
Hi.
Naya Yazdani,
Aye.
Jane Gates,
Present.
and Rajani Kumari. Thanks everyone for being here. Okay. Well, we've got an exciting agenda tonight. We're going to go ahead and move through the grant review. On our agenda, our first order of business is approval of minutes, and then we'll just do a very quick chair report and treasurer report, and we'll get into the heart of kind of our discussion tonight. Because we didn't have full attendance last meeting, we decided to just do a approval of the minutes for both September and October meeting minutes tonight. So I don't know if everyone's had a chance to review those, but if I could get a motion to approve and a second.
I motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Great, thank you. From the sort of chair report areas to report on, we have really just two quick things. So one is budget requests have been circulated. I will go ahead and put in our same budget that we requested last year, and I'll share that with everyone by email just so you can see it before it goes over to town for approval. And then one pending item on my end that I wasn't able to complete just due to the volume of work the past month was getting the sort of moonshot grant description and overview complete. I do anticipate having a draft in the next 2 weeks, so I'll share that before the end of the month, and then we can decide to approve it or not at our December meeting. So that's all on my end, and I'll put it over to you, Rajani. Oh, we can't hear you.
We're having a good time tonight.
Rajani, we'll go ahead and give you a minute and we can come back to the treasure report. But I just want to thank Rajani for her work facilitating all of the grant reimbursements. That's a really important step in the process for getting all of the artists paid. So I know we just had one more reimbursement that we both signed off on last week, and we anticipate a couple more, I think one or two before the end of the calendar year. So with that, why don't we go ahead and move over to really the purpose of tonight's meeting. And I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen here in a sec. I want to pull up the grant criteria and scoring so that we can just all be looking at the same thing. Right. Okay, can you all see the spreadsheet with the applicant information?
Yes.
It's super
Yeah.
small, but I have my own copy. So
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we'll go ahead and go through this in two passes. So over here, when we're ready, we'll make decisions about the funding amounts. But I think the first thing that we will need to do is just go through the applicants one by one. and review our general comments and how they fit, and whether or not folks want to sort of move them into funding consideration. Um, so for those that are new, last year what we did is we went through one by one and we just spent a couple of minutes, basically each of us saying whether or not we felt that the applicant met the criteria. And then, and for those that were where discussion was warranted, whether or not if there was maybe disagreement or we weren't sure, we tabled it and we revisited at the end of the conversation. So the objective for this first portion for the next 15-20 minutes or so is really to just determine if an applicant should be considered for funding. So because we're on Zoom, I might call on each of you. Don't feel like I'm putting you on the spot. I'm just looking at who's first or at the top of the screen here. So let's start with a graphic novel experience to be held at the Algonquin Regional High School. And we'll start with Jane.
I really liked what they were doing. I like the thought of it, and I do think they fit everything that we needed in here. It's just, I really was not disappointed. I thought there were an awful lot of applicants, which makes me worried about however much we can afford to give them. But I like that. I like what they're doing at the Algonquin High School, and I think they do fit all. There's nothing that they're missing on there.
Yeah. Nicole?
I agree. I like them. I would definitely like to consider them. But also because I agree with Jane, the number of people that have applied, I think I want to just consider them and then table it when we get through some of the
Mhm.
others.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is for those where we just, as we're moving through here, I'm gonna use green, red, and yellow. So for those where we are kind of in consensus that we liked it but are unsure of the funding amount, I'm gonna put green. Yellow is discussion point, like, do we want to fund them or not?
Mhm.
And then if there's a problem with the application. So yellow is like discussion point with a negative bent. Green is discussion with a positive bent, and then red, we're not gonna discuss further. Does that make sense? All right,
Mhm.
Yes.
so staying with Algonquin, Naya.
Yeah, I definitely think that they have potential. I just, again, I don't know how much we can allot them with how many people there are.
Mhm. Okay, so let's see. I agree. I felt that the application was strong. So I went through based on our five like granting criteria, and I actually scored each of these, which is what the numbers mean. The expectation was not for everyone to do that, but I just wanted to have like a sense of what that range was. Rajani, did you have any comments on the Algonquin Regional High School applicant?
Sorry, I missed that. I was just fixing my MacBook.
No worries at all. We're just
Yeah.
getting started moving through the grants.
Okay, so I think I'm all set. So can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear
Yes.
you. Do you have any comment on the Algonquin Regional High School graphic novel experience applicant?
Mm,
I mean, I think
I
think the
think
idea of having, sorry.
I think we should add this one.
Okay. Um, all right, so we'll come back to this again when we go through the funding decision portion. So Assabet Valley Master Singers. Jane?
Well, this one really, because they want so much, it really kind of put me off for that. But I mean, as I said, I didn't really find anybody on here who totally missed the boat. So I'm starting to look at the amounts of money more than anything.
To the best that we can, try and compartmentalize in our minds because we can revisit the funding amounts and we do not have to fund the entire amount.
Yeah, but
So
even
don't worry about that step yet. Just
uh,
focus on whether or not you think they should be considered for funding or not. And it sounds like yes from Jane.
Yeah, I was yes.
Okay. Nicole?
Yes, I'm just re-looking at it. My one question is, when is the event happening? It already happened.
So they do the same performance every November, typically, if I'm
Okay,
remembering
so
correctly.
because I
So
think we funded them last year, right?
yeah, the council has funded a small portion every year.
Yeah,
So it was just 2 days ago, the
yeah.
grant from the prior year. Yeah. Naya,
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see anything that was wrong with their application, but
Rajani,
Yeah, I think we should go for this one too. Are we talking about the Elizabeth Valley?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should go, but not that much amount. We can
Okay.
reduce. Yeah.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna discuss funding amounts in the second part. Right now, we just want to eliminate if there are any that we should not be considering for funding. And we
Okay.
do this, just to
Mhm.
kind of recap for everyone, we do this for equity purposes. So it's important that we make sure that we're basing funding decisions on the grant criteria. And so when we make this initial pass through, we're just trying to kind of hedge any perceived inequities and making sure that everyone sort of has the same baseline level of consideration. And then we can look at like the depth and the sophistication of the grant in the second part of the conversation to determine how much funding we are actually allocating.
Okay.
All right, so interborough community band, I'll reverse order, Jane, to give you a break. Rajani, your thoughts here?
Yes. Yes.
Naya?
yeah, I mean, I don't know if they need as much as they asked for, but I believe they fit the criteria.
Nicole?
Yes, include them.
Jane?
They always get a great turnout, so yes. If I don't recuse myself on that one.
You don't have to refuse.
Okay.
Um, okay, Discovery Museum, Open Door Connections. Naya, we'll start
I'm a
with
yes
you.
on this one.
You're a yes? Okay, and
Yeah.
then Naya?
I was gonna say no.
Okay. Jane?
You're allowed. It's sort of the lowest part of it, but I guess it would squeeze by with a yes.
Rajani?
I'm not sure for this one. This year we have a lot, but we can consider some amount.
All right, I was a no on this too, but I was a no last year as well. Let's flag it as yellow and we'll come back to that one. Hopkinton Center for the Arts, New Year's Eve party. Nicole?
I'm a no on this one.
Jane?
I'm have to agree just because it is really Hopkinton.
Naya?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no.
Rajani?
I think we should go this year for this one, not that much amount, because I think this is a little bit different from last year.
In what way?
I think these are for kids and from any city, not only from Hopkinton.
Okay.
Yeah, that is kind of, I think Christmas, before Christmas, that is kind of dance and singing and all kind of activities for kids or anyone. So I think we can consider a little bit. If we can manage.
Okay, I was a no on this one too. So that's 4 no's, 1 yes. So I'm putting it as red. But I do think, Rajani, your point is taken and we can come back to deliberate before we go through and make the funding decisions, just because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page about like how we're evaluating.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Liu. Nicole?
I'm a yes on this one.
Okay. Rajani?
I'm not sure.
Jane?
Yes, because she's had a good response in the past.
Mhm.
Naya?
I would say yes. I think it's a great application.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so I'll move that forward. And then I have this scoring that we can also, when we move through, I'll explain what it means, because I think sometimes looking at it with a quantitative lens is super helpful. All right, the Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild. Jane?
High school. Okay, I'm just trying to look through my own notes on this. I think I had that one as a yes.
Nicole?
I'm looking back. I have a big question mark next to them right now.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to reread their application because I don't know why. I have notes for the other ones, but
Okay.
come back
I
to
did
me.
the same thing.
Naya?
I mean, I definitely liked their application. I don't know about the number,
Okay, so it's
but
the funding amount. Okay.
yeah.
Rajani?
Yes, for this.
Yes. Okay. So that tips us kind of into the green category, because I was a yes. So we have 2.5 yeses and you. So we'll leave it as yellow to
And two
discuss.
cat knows.
Yeah, I thought it was a good application, but I want to make sure everyone's being heard. All right, Messiah Community Chorus. Let's start with Rajani.
Yes.
Yes. Naya?
Yeah.
Nicole?
Yes, and now that I go back to the Mass High School Drama Festival, I'm a yes on this one.
Oh,
I think I
okay.
just
Okay.
wanted to reread it further.
Okay. Jane, for
Um,
the community chorus.
Also, yes, it's sort of a tradition at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's inertia to it. It's like we can't stop it. Not that I would want to. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, Metro West Tourism World Cup Fan Zone. So just for total clarity here for the group. So I reached out to all applicants who where there was ambiguity or a degree of vagueness relative to whether or not they had the venue secured. And so I spoke with or connected over email with the person who submitted this application, and they do have the park secured. So they do have a venue. Um, so, understand that they do have the partnerships in place to run the programs. I think for the purposes of our granting committee, our job is to determine whether or not this fits the criteria of what we're sort of intended to support. So that's arts and cultural programs. So with that, I'll start with Nicole.
I think having the World Cup here every 4 years is a huge cultural event in the Giant area, and having something done locally for the local fans, maybe who can't go to a game or who like prior to watch something or other, would like bring a lot of people together. Like this is a really big soccer community.
Okay, that's good perspective. Jane?
I would say yes.
Okay. Naya?
I would say no.
Rajani?
I'm agree with Nicole.
Okay. I was a no as well. I'm going to put yellow so we can come back to that. But I agree, the points, those were good points I hadn't considered when looking at the application. Okay, Northborough Area Community Chorus. Jane?
Wait a second, I got lost on here. Oh. I just, for some reason, I said no. I don't recall what it was, but I did have a no.
Okay. Naya?
I also said no.
Okay. Nicole?
I was a no as well.
Okay. And Rajani?
I also say no.
Okay. That's 4 no's. I was a maybe. So I do want to review the no's together before we move on, just so that we're clear on why we're saying no, but that's fine. So Upasana at the Hopkinton Center for the Arts. Jane?
Uh, I really must get a new pen so I can read what I've written here. Da. I really like them and I like what they do, but I'd rather see it here. Not as much Southborough as I'd like to see. Can I do a maybe?
Yep. Nicole?
Wait, which one are we looking at?
Upasana at Hopkinton Center for the Arts.
Wait, why don't I have that?
Is that Springfest 2026?
So are you talking about number 5?
Yeah, which grant are you talking about right now?
Number
The New Year's
11,
Eve party?
Springfest 2026.
All
Yes.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Springfest.
So
Oh,
the
sorry,
group,
sorry.
the group is known as Upasana, I believe.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going back through. I was a no on this one.
Naya, did I already ask you?
No, you didn't, but also I'm a no.
No. Rajani?
No for this.
Okay, I was a no.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that I scored them and I didn't feel that the criteria were met really. All right. So Juliana Perez. So I connected with Juliana as well because her application was really interesting. And I think pretty good. One of the challenges with the application was that it didn't indicate whether or not the partnership was in place with the Tricentennial Committee. So for those, if you don't recall her application, what she's focused on is producing a unique piece of music for the town of Southborough. So her objective is to research and find different stories and narratives that she can then convert into a composition that would be performed for Southborough residents in Southborough as part of the Tricentennial presentation. She has since met with the Tricentennial Planning Committee and they have endorsed this project pretty strongly. So that it's something that they are very excited about. And I think that's something that we need to consider strongly as we review this. So with that additional data point,
Was that
Nicole.
the letter that you forwarded? And I was trying to
Mhm.
figure out where it came. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a yes to this one just because it's for Southborough, which is why I kind of went no to some of the other sort of patriotic ones. But not because I didn't think the ideas were great, but just because I would go to Southborough first for an
Yeah,
event.
yeah, I understand. Jane?
Ditto. Yes.
Okay. Naya?
I was a maybe on this one just because of how high it was.
Okay. Rajani?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and we'll discuss funding amounts in the next section. All right, so Southborough Library, Soul Speak, those were the alchemy box projects. It was kind of interesting. Rajani, your thoughts here?
I'm just I think yes.
Okay. Naya,
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes, I like that it's different and it touches on a different piece of art.
Jane.
Gave it yes and wrote curious.
Um, all right. The Southborough Public Schools Story Bridge Program. Naya.
I said no.
Okay. Johnny.
I think yes.
Okay. Nicole.
I said no just because I wasn't clear, like this has been going on for a while, like where is funding needing now that wasn't before? Like, is it something different that they're doing?
Jane.
No,
No. Okay. So we have 2 no's, 2 yeses, and maybe so that we're kind of in the middle. We need to look at that one closely.
Mhm.
All right. So Chris Swanson, Highland Woods at the senior center. Jane.
oh, wait a minute. He's busy rubbing my eyes. Uh, songs and story music. That's the one, right, Chris?
Mhm.
Um, uh, yeah, I had a hard time on this one. I'm gonna do a maybe.
Okay. Nicole.
I'm a yes on this one.
Naya.
I said yes.
Rajani.
Yes for this.
Okay. We'll move it. Jane, I hear you. There are 4 yeses on that one, so we're gonna move it to green.
No,
So
that's fine.
we can discuss the amounts.
No problem.
Roger Tinknell at the Southborough Senior Center. Naya.
Lord. I had said no.
No. Nicole.
I said yes to this one. Did we skip the Rock Institute?
We
Oh,
did.
I'm
Yeah, we
sorry.
did.
So yes, we did. So there are 3 that I just proactively put red on. So the Rock Institute, John Haverhill, Live Music Making History, and Dennis Wise. I reached
Mhm,
out to all 3 because there was a lot of ambiguity around the projects
mhm.
proposed, and I didn't get any responses back
Okay.
confirming venues or any project specifics, and I gave them a deadline. So unfortunately, with the material that we have, we can't consider them. And again, just we're meeting now to review, but applications were due back in October. So
Yeah.
we can work with them to help them put together the full application next time. And if
Mhm.
they had gotten back to us, we could have considered them, but just out of equity for all the other applicants, we can't. So
Yep.
Dennis Wise did get back to me, but he didn't come through with the school agreement for his project. So we're removing those 3 from consideration for equity purposes.
Mhm.
So sorry, I did skip that.
So which
But
number
then
are we
I'm a
actually on?
yes for Roger Tinknell.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so Naya was a no, Nicole's a yes, Jane,
I'd say yes.
yes, Rajani,
Are you talking about the Rock Institute?
no, Roger Tinknell at Southborough
Yeah.
Senior Center.
Yes for
Okay.
this one. Yeah.
All right. So we'll move that and we can consider amounts. Okay, so Town of Southborough Housing Authority Craft Workshop. Rajani.
Just give me a moment, please. I'll
Okay.
just check.
I'm a yes for this one if you want to skip
Okay.
around.
Yeah, anyone else you can just call it out.
Yes for this.
Yes.
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 All right. Town of Southborough Rec Center Rec Connects.
I put a no.
No, I would say no.
No, 2 no's.
I said maybe.
Actually, and I said yes.
So you both said yes. Okay, I was kind of on the fence, so let's discuss that one. I want to support the rec center, so
Mhm.
let's just talk about that. I felt like their application did deserve some discussion, but they scored well,
Mhm.
objectively. So, but I also can see the other side. All right, so Karen Trachtenberg, Media Arts. Thoughts here?
I love the idea of films, but I just don't know how we can be enough help for her.
Nicole?
Yeah, kind of. I like that she's a Southborough filmmaker. I think she's maybe on mine just because I have others that are higher on the list.
Yeah. Naya?
I said no.
No. Vajani?
Maybe, not
All
sure.
right. Okay, so let's discuss her. She's the only, hers is the only program that is focused on women
Mhm.
specifically. And it's also the only artist that requested funding for doing something unique, like kind of elsewhere in Metro West. So I think it does warrant discussion for
Mhm.
sure. But there's also some limitations to the application. Um,
Yes.
Catherine Weber, Art on the Trails.
Always,
Yes, for me.
always yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the signature program for town arts community. Um, Westboro Community Chorus.
I think no.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
And then the Women of Note concert series.
And
I would note that this is not a Southborough event, but I just want to go back. I mean, because I mean, I know the filmmaker one isn't being held in Southborough either, but I think I had two cross notes between the two. Um, Hold on, I'm rereading it.
Yeah, the criteria were not strong. Theirs
Yeah.
was, is this one in Sudbury? Where is this?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it was. It wasn't. I think the filmmaker one
was strong.
ranks higher than this. Was a stronger applicant.
Yeah.
okay. Any other comments? Yes, no, maybe so.
Nope.
no.
No, no, no. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So let's do a quick review here. Thank you everyone for your comments. All right. So for removal from, and we'll kind of go through the list here. So we have in green applicants that will move over to the decisions tab. We have a few applicants that are highlighted in yellow, which we need to discuss whether or not they meet the criteria for funding consideration. And then for those that are highlighted in red, with the exception of this one, because Rajani, I know you had some comments here, we're deciding that we're going to remove them from consideration.
Mhm.
So when we do that, and I'm kind of overstating this not to be condescending, but because we're recording this and I want to make sure that we're transparent with applicants if they are reviewing this conversation later. I just want to recall for everyone that we do have funding guidelines posted on the website. So when we're declining grants, it's not because we don't want to fund them. It's because we're trying to sort of elevate the criteria that we've established to elevate programs in and around Southborough. So our funding prior programs our funding priorities are for programs in Southborough and surrounding communities, individuals and organizations from Southborough and surrounding communities, funding for service organizations benefiting the town, programs that have emphasis on the natural world and environment, and those that serve the largest number of people in the community with a diversity of age groups and artistic disciplines in mind. So when we go through the review process, what we're doing is we're comparing the application to those criteria and we're actually scoring them. So you can see a sample of the scoring metric on the screen. We score on criteria, like yes is a very clear, they've met that criteria. Unclear maybe is a 2, 1 is no, and NA is 0, meaning there's no effort made in the application to meet that criteria. And the best score is equal to or greater than 9. So when we go through, you can see that the majority of applications that are moving to funding round will have a score of 9 or higher. There are a few that don't, and we can talk about those in the funding discussion, and why that might be. So for now, we're just going to move through and make sure that we're in consensus on the decisions that we're moving on from. So we're going to remove from consideration Northborough Area Community Chorus. I do want to highlight here, because I made this comment, so they do provide free tickets for seniors and ASL guides for their concerts. So I think that that's a really nice touch and something that maybe we can encourage other applicants to do as well. We're going to remove the Springfest at Hopkinton Center from the Arts for consideration. Their score that I had was a 5. We're removing the Rock Institute, John Haverhill, and Dennis Wise due to incomplete data for the application. Westboro Community Chorus, we had a 5 score. And the Women of Note concert series, we had a 7 score. So there's not really a ton of discussion, I think, warranted for these. Now, Rajani, I had scored the Center for the Arts New Year's Eve party at a 6, and the group was in consensus about a no here, but you mentioned wanting to consider it. Is there something that you want to add to sort of sway the group here?
No.
No? Okay. All right, so let's go through and we're gonna hide these. Let me just hide that row. Okay. All right. So now we have in yellow, we need to make some decisions here. So in yellow for discussion, so right now we're determining whether or not we're going to move these forward to funding discussion. So Discovery Museum, Metro West Tourism, World Cup Band Zone, Southborough Public Schools Storybridge, the Rec Center program, and then the Karen Trachtenberg Media Arts program. So for Discovery Museum, I can break the ice on this one. So our family loves the Discovery Museum. We're member, or I think we might not be active members, but we utilize the Discovery Museum frequently. This program, I think, is a really good program. It objectively, according to what they share with us, it enables free tuition, free admission for low income families from Southborough. I think the reason why I scored, and last year I had the same reaction, there's a very loose connection with the town. I know anecdotally from other families and other parents, my age group, that people use the Discovery Museum and they go there. But I don't know how proactive we actually are in terms of the museum is in terms of promoting this with the constituents that they're serving. And it's just, to me, with our criteria and our scoring, it's always sort of a loose connection. Like it just kind of squeezes in to meet the criteria, but it's not strong. And so when we view it in light of other programs, I question how the strength of the application. So that's my opinion on that. I don't know if anyone else who objected or questioned the application had thoughts they'd like to add.
I'd like to think that that all these places are also, all these people are also looking, they're not applying just to Southborough.
No, and candidly, this grant is not, you know, it's a relatively small amount of funding. And I do, you know, the Open Door Connections program is free admission for a variety of towns. So they apply to other towns too, I'm sure. But this is specifically designed to it, like they've quantified the number of Southborough residents that utilize the grant. Any other thoughts here, pro or con?
I'm always a yes for this one. So I go with the majority though.
So Jane, remind me what you were.
Uh, now you're asking a hard question. Um, I like, you know, same as you. I like what they do. I just don't know that it's really as focused as we'd like it to be. So I think that was my one of the maybes.
Okay. Naya?
I mean, I don't see, I know that they have some ties to art and creativity and all of that, but I'm not seeing a huge connection to art or culture in it very much in their application, at least. So for me, it's probably a no.
Rajani?
Maybe.
Okay, so we have 2 no's, 2 maybes, and a yes. Do we want to look at the application again?
For my yes, I would table them to see all of our greens,
Okay,
because all of our greens to me are strong greens.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna move it down. All right, so Metro West World Cup fan zone. So who was a no on this? I was a no, I think
I was a no.
Naya was a no. Was anyone else a yes? Who was a yes?
I was a yes.
Nicole, Rajani.
No.
And I was not strong on the yes, just because, you know, I'm more for the art stuff.
Okay. So yeah, so I scored this one. All right, so it is held in Marlborough. So it's, you know, basically Southborough. I think a lot of people could get to it easily. I put a 2 because it's not in Southborough, but that's still a higher rating. Funding for organizations and individuals from Southborough. I gave it a 1 here. Funding for service organizations, it's not a service org, so no. Funding for programs that focus on the natural world and environment, that was a 0. And then the largest possible number of people in the community, I put a 0. I think that was probably unfair because it's a, I think I was reacting to the fact that there was no inclusion of the arts in the application. And so my reaction was more to that than it was to the number of people. I actually think a lot of people would use it. So I'm going to change that to, let's see, unclear, maybe I'll do a middle there too. Bringing that score up to 5. But where the application was weak is the connection between the World Cup event and the arts. So I think that does warrant discussion. You know, Nicole, your point is well taken. The World Cup is a big event.
Yeah.
The degree to which I think people are interested in that in Southborough is not something I'm aware of. So if there's, you know, interest, I think it's something we can consider. But I do think there should be a stronger connection with art in the programming. But that's just my opinion.
And I feel the same. I'm sort of drawn because you are right, but it doesn't feel like it's an art cultural event, though it certainly is a good way to draw people.
Yeah, I'm agree.
All right. Southborough Public School Spybridge. All right, so let's talk about this one. I had scored this one higher based on the evaluation criteria, but I'm curious what the professional perspective is on this because I'm not close to this program. So I have very little insight into how it's been running.
I don't know exactly how it's been running. I know it's been running for quite some time. Because, you know, we constantly get emails to say, do you want to participate? But I guess I just don't know the history of the background of like their funding needs and what goes into it. And maybe they are not getting funding from elsewhere, so they're reaching out to the local towns that, you know,
Hmm.
connect to Algonquin.
Okay. Any other comments? I'm going to move it down below. All right.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
just looking over their application quickly, their number of youth that is served, they're saying it's only like 100 kids, which I'm not saying that any kid in general should not count, but for the amount that they are asking for it, it is high for a low number of
Okay.
kids in the school system.
That's a good point. Okay. Rec Connects.
I was a yes for Rec Connects.
Okay. I don't remember everyone's.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember
thinking
my
here.
own.
I was a yes, but just
Yeah, so
probably
two
not.
yeses. Okay. Who was a no on this one?
I think we all are yes this year for this.
Oh, okay. So I'll change it then. I thought maybe I misheard that one. Okay. And then the media arts program. This is Karen Trachtenberg's project.
I still love the idea of it, and I like to see a different kind of art in here as well. But if it were to be accepted, it will have to be just a token, I would say.
Okay. Do we want to deliberate or do we want to move this one to consideration for funding?
I mean, it's a nice art idea. It's not a local one, was my only reservation.
Right. Okay. I'll move it down since it sounds like we still have some thinking to do there. Okay. So now we have, let's see. So 1, 2, 13 programs that we're planning on funding. I'm gonna move these over here. Ah, shoot. I hate when that happens. Okay, we'll do this right here. Okay, so let's just go through and make sure we can, let's go through and kind of look at what they're actually asking for, and we can come up with some criteria around how we're making this decision. Please remember that the lowest amount that we can fund anyone is only, it's 200, it's not a lot of money, but it's $250. So we're making the decision that these applicants all fit our criteria. We're in consensus that they're strong applications. Now we're gonna determine how much we're actually going to allocate from our budget. I'm gonna we have 6,400 that we can fund, so the number down here can't exceed that amount. All right. So for the graphic novel experience, the amount requested is 750. I'm gonna also. Okay. Assabet Valley Master Singers is 2,000. The Interborough Community Band is 300.
300,
Michelle Liu is
400,
400. The
500. Hopkinton Center. Oh, wait a minute.
Massachusetts
Not there.
Educational Theater is 750. The Messiah is 1,000. Juliana Perez, I believe, is 1,000, right? Let's see.
No, she's 3,500.
3,500.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is the,
Okay.
I think, highest amount.
It's a lot.
Southborough Library is Soul Speak.
350.
350.
350.
Yeah.
Chris Swanson is how much?
225.
225.
Okay. Roger Trinknell is
570.
570.
570. The Town of Southborough Housing Authority Craft Workshop,
500.
500.
the rec program,
2,500.
3,500.
25.
25.
25.
Okay. And Art and the Trails is usually 750, I believe, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just to make things simple, what I'm gonna suggest we do is for those that are under 1,000, let's just go through and we can like look
Mhm.
at those quickly. So I'm just gonna move those amounts over. This is not a decision, I'm just doing it for clarity in our brain. It'll help us, I think, make some of the larger funding decisions. So the Chris Swanson program, I have to round up because we can't grant under 250. Okay. So those are the funding amounts for the smaller programs. The total there is 4,600 about. I think we have 4 pretty big projects. Assabet Valley Master Singers. Can someone, while I'm talking, can someone look up on their side how much we funded last year? It should be on the
250.
250. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Messiah Community Chorus also, I think, was
They got
250.
500 last year.
500. Okay. Juliana Perez, and then Rec Connects. So we are looking at a little less than 2,000 from our LCC fund for these remaining 4 projects. I
Mhm.
think my perspective on this is what would make the most sense is to actually go back and look at what the budgets are funding really quickly. And we can make a decision around how much we want to allocate to a particular project. I think another consideration that we need to make is, do we want to prioritize one of the projects that requires more funding? For example, if we wanted to fund the entire 3,500 here, do we want to do that and lessen the amounts, some of the other grants that we're doing? I'm not saying that as a decision, it's a question for the group to consider. So let's go back, I'm gonna just pull up the budgets for the 4 grants in question. So we have Assabet Valley Master Singers, $2,000. Okay. So this is their spring concert. Takes place here in Southborough, 250 people. And they also charge, there's a participation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ticketed amount. So the total amount here, can everyone see this budget?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just doing the math. So yeah, so they really only cover I mean, I'm sympathetic. I think, these are community organizations. I think it's hard to, raise money for this type of program. And it's usually the folks that are in the chorus that are actually doing the fundraising because it's a passion project. I think one of the challenges from my perspective in justifying the amount is the number of people served relative to the resources that we have to allocate. So I think a question for the group is, do we want for the chorus or for the Master Singers project to do another sort of signature, like vote of support of like 250 to 500, something to that effect? That's more in alignment with the number of people served relative to the other applicants. What is the group's thoughts here?
I think we should go for 250 to 500. Last year we paid 250.
Okay. Any other perspectives?
Yeah, I mean, I think since the count of how many applicants there were, I think 250 is probably a reasonable number.
I agree. Like if I agree giving them the same as what we gave them last year. And then we would have more to go towards the others, because like if we just took those 4 that we're questioning the amounts on and split it with what we have left, it would be like, 440-ish each.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd rather personally give them the same and then have a little bit more go to either the history of Southborough or the Rec Connects.
Okay. So you're saying 250 for both Assabet and the Messiah Community Chorus? Okay.
Yeah.
Jane, what are your thoughts?
I agree.
Okay. All right. Oops. All right. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we're up to 5,120. Okay. So we have about 1,300, 1,200 really, remaining to award. So we have the Tricentennial Project and the Town of Southborough Rec Center. Let's look at the rec center. I feel like I have a better understanding of Juliana's project just because she and I emailed.
Mm.
Go back and look at the
Rec center.
Rec center. So that was, I can't remember which number that was.
19.
19. All right. Sorry. I'm like not doing great with my PDF skills tonight. Where are you? There.
There it is.
There we go. Okay. So, all right. So 2026 Rec Connect events. So these are going to take place in Northborough, Southborough, and Shrewsbury. 100 people. Okay, so that's problematic.
Because place
I think
is
it's
not
the,
defined. Yeah.
That's
well,
a
I
really
think it's because of the people that they're serving.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
It's not a large population.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's important.
But I feel like they don't have many events in general that connect them community wide,
Mhm.
like townwide, not townwide, but like through multiple
Yeah. No,
towns
you're
to
right.
give
You're
to
right.
give them a community.
I'd forgotten the focus of this application. I'm glad we're looking at it again. Um, Rajani, how much do we have in our reserves? Do you have that?
We have total 10,485 and state allocation is 6,400 and
Right.
local revenue is 4,000.
Okay. So we have 4,000 that we were gonna do allocate towards our moonshot program.
Mhm.
We're gonna request that same amount in the budget again for town next year.
Okay.
So another option too is if we want to extend beyond the LCC program, we can potentially fund both at a higher amount, dipping into the 4,000. Or we can stick to the 6,400 from the state, or we can give a smaller amount to each of these projects. My concern at giving a smaller amount to these projects is that they're not going to be able to do much with it.
Mhm.
I think for what Travis is talking about here, this is it's an expensive program. I know what it costs to run these things. And for Juliana's project, it's similar. Um, you know, artists and musicians, when they're doing that type of sort of research intensive work, there's no other source of funding for it. So it's a labor intensive endeavor and it takes resources to kind of support the effort. What are the group's thoughts?
So if you gave them 1,000 each, it's still not going to be enough, but
My concern, especially with Travis's project, is
mm,
that I don't know if it would be. And
yeah.
so, because I don't know who else is going to fund this. Do you
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
do.
don't think town will. Um, it's just a tough one. For Juliana's project, one thing we could do, because tricentennial's in 2027, right? So we could
Hmm.
even suggest to her that we break it into two and
Hmm.
we encumber funds from next year.
Hmm.
Say we'll fund the first half now, something to that effect.
I like that. It's a good compromise.
Yes, because then there's communication with her, saying, budget for this for the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
she can get things going.
Yeah, but I want to say the risk with that though is depending on the applications that we get next year
Hmm.
as well, because we don't know what we're going to be getting in.
No, we don't.
There could be things that we want to spend it on instead of. So I'm not saying not to do that. I'm just putting that out
No, I
there.
mean, no, that's a good point because we are then reserving a huge chunk of money
Yeah.
for something. And especially then with the following year being the tricentennial year, there might be more
Yep.
people looking to do things. Does it say on the application if they've applied to other
yeah,
grant organizations?
I don't think she has, or the rec center or the Juliana.
Either
Juliana is
one.
just getting started, so I don't think she has. Rec Center. So it says other sources of projected income needed to complete include garnering grants, sponsorships, and donations, as well as charging participants for tickets. If the council is unable to fund the entire amount we are requesting, we may reduce the number of events we offer or increase the ticket prices for participants in order to cover the costs.
The other thing with the rec department though is it's not just taking place in Southborough. It's taking place in Northborough, Southborough, and Shrewsbury.
Yeah,
Do they not have grant programs?
they do have grant programs. But I think, we don't know if they applied for those grant programs or not. It's not listed here. Yeah,
I
so
think maybe giving each one 1,000, like Jane had said, and then it gives the rec program an opportunity to get this off the ground and then look for other sources
okay.
of support.
I'm supportive of that. I think we can also talk to Travis and see, like, we can offer some guidance on where to go for
Hmm.
resourcing, right?
Yeah,
Um, okay, so that's 1,000. Um, and then for Juliana, let's go back and look at her budget here. Let's see, she was earlier in the packet. Let's see.
yes, she's just before the alchemy one. So when you get to that visual,
Oh my goodness.
It's right there.
Did I miss it? Is it here? Okay. So flautist, okay. All right. My understanding is based on the letter we received from the Tricentennial Committee that this would actually be something that all of town would experience and be exposed to. So
And
the number,
did the letter say where she was having it? Because the application says it could be somewhere, but
I don't think, I don't
it
have
doesn't.
it in front of me. You can pull it up. I forwarded it to the group. You can see what
Yeah, I
Patty
just didn't remember if
said.
she specified a
I
location
don't
just
think
because
they
her
did
application
yet. I don't
doesn't.
think they did. I think, I know from conversations with other members of the select board and the Tricentennial Planning Committee that they're really looking for projects like this. So it doesn't surprise me that they're excited about it.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at the budget. So musicians is 2,000, production and tech is 1,000. Um,
If you want half of that, you go up to 1,500. Would that get them going?
yeah, I mean, I think it could.
Mhm.
I know it's tough. I always am, I struggle with projects like this because I just know how expensive, not expensive, but how time consuming it is for the
Yeah.
artist to produce it. But we are just so cash strapped. We're such a small
Mhm.
council that I think we just, the reality is we just don't have the full budget for this right now. So committee, do you feel comfortable funding between 1,000 and 500, or, what are, I think that her project is fluid. I think she's early enough that this is an estimate. Um, and the benefit is that the tricentennial isn't until 2027, so this could be some grant seed funding to get it started, right? Um, and then we could potentially help the tricentennial, like identify other resourcing for it if it's needed.
Mhm. That sounds good to me.
I think if the town is putting a lot of excitement into it, then there may be other ways for them to help fund it as well.
Okay. So that would effectively, so that would dip into some of the
Mhm.
resources we have, but I'm comfortable doing that because the new grant project that we're developing is still in design and we probably won't distribute those resources till later in, the spring. And that there's a cushion in there for administrative costs and so on. So this would rule out though revisiting these projects, Discovery Museum, World Cup Fan Zone, Story Bridge, and
Mhm.
Media Arts. Are there any of the programs that we have in the green that we feel like we're just doing because we've done before and we need to give someone new a shot, like Karen Trachtenberg's project?
Um, well, I think it's the Aspen Valley Master Singers and the Messiah that we do every year, but they're also good ones to do every year.
Mhm.
And same with Art on the Trails, like the ones that keep coming back are the ones that are worthy.
I want to look at Karen's application again, or how much she was asking.
She was asking for 500.
500. Do we all feel comfortable? Would we be open to considering giving 250 or some sort of signature to her? She's one of the only artists
Mm.
that's applying. We have, of all the applicants, we have Juliana, Catherine Weber, and Michelle Liu are the only like independent artists applying for money.
I know, I mean, certainly Catherine, I know also gets money from other places. If you could shave just a little bit off from a few of them, would that work?
I don't,
I don't think it's going to be enough money to really make a difference. She needs a lot.
Karen needs 500. That's not a lot.
No, no, not Karen.
Yeah.
I'm now that we want to. Okay, whatever. Beyond the 1,000 or 1,500.
Oh, you're talking about Juliana Perez?
Yes, you're right. Thank you.
I'm talking about Karen down
I
here.
know, I know.
Yeah. Does anyone else feel strongly about this, or is it just me?
I'm just reviewing her notes.
So the downside to the program is it's not here. It's in Sudbury.
Mhm.
But I'm trying to be thoughtful about balancing how we're resourcing organizations that are up and running, right? And kind of, there's not so totally well resourced, but there are a lot of people, and then independent artists who are kind of a little bit more isolated, don't have as much visibility or eyes on the work that they're doing.
Well, I mean, we have wiggle room to dip into the fund. So why not?
250.
Works for me.
It's okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Are there any other programs in yellow that anyone wants to go to bat for?
No.
No.
All right. So here's what we'll do. We have the decisions outlined here. In the next couple of days, I'll write a summary to the group. And we'll put together letters that go out to all of the applicants after we put our financial decision packet together. So there's some steps there. We're well in advance of the deadline, so we'll get everything out before, the end of the calendar year. For these three that we're not funding, but we felt compelled to kind of discuss further, in the letter that we write, I will offer to talk about like the grant specifically, and if there were anything, the suggestions that we had to kind of improve the application. And I'll also offer, like, if they want to discuss partnering, or other ways to kind of work with them, that we can do that. And then for those that declined, we'll encourage them to apply again and provide some direction on, where we felt that they needed to strengthen the application. But I want to thank everyone for the work you put into this. I know, a lot of effort to go through all of the materials, but it's really rewarding, hopefully, and it has a huge impact for all of these applicants that are really trying to do cool things for the community. So even the folks that we weren't able to fund or deciding not to fund, it's still good that they're putting themselves out there. Any final comments?
No, but thank you, everybody. It was good to talk it through, because sometimes you have your own ideas in your head, and then it's good to be with the committee to do it.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I totally agree. All right, so we are at 8:47 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right. Thank Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Sleep
Thanks,
well.
everyone.
Stay warm and cozy.
Yeah.